Sophie here, and today I'm going to be telling you 25 bookish facts about me. I got my first library card before I was 1. My mum said that I was extremely little and she went to the library and she signed me up for a library card, and I've had one ever since and I still go extremely often, so thank you, Mum. I know my library card number off by heart because of ordering and renewing books online, or at least I did until I got a new library card a few weeks ago. I shall learn the new one. Most of the books I read I get from the library. If I love the book or I know I'm going to want to reread it or flick through it a lot, then I'll buy it afterwards. Because I've had experience with reading the end of books too fast, I make sure to stop before I read like the whole end in one chunk, and this often leaves me getting to like 5 pages left of a book and then putting it down and going to do something else for a few hours. It doesn't make sense. I love bookmarks, and I don't understand it when people use random scraps of paper when you could have something beautiful like these, or even Snape inside your book. I've spent so many years listening and re-listening to the Harry Potter audiobooks narrated by Stephen Fry. For years I could not get to sleep without them on, and I wouldn't listen to them in order or necessarily start at the beginning of the book. I just pick a random chapter to listen to, and it really helps your brain to notice like clever things if you listen to just a random chapter of the second book and then a random chapter of the last book and you see, wow, there's so many connections in this book. And it's only recently that I've kind of got used to silence, but I still have the Harry Potter audiobooks on my iPod for regular listens. I'm very precious about my books when I first buy them, but as soon as they get a little beat up, I get over it, and I actually like books that look loved. I love the idea of writing, but I don't think I'm very good at it, and I never sit down and try and get better. Years ago I did spend a lot of time planning and writing different stories, and the main one was about a teenage boy who was not a nice guy. Him and his parents were bullies, and he got contacted by this criminal spy agency to work for them, and I really wanted to write a book where the main character had none or very little redeeming qualities and who didn't turn good throughout the whole series, and yeah, it was pretty cool, but I never even finished writing the first book. I love rereading books, and the books I've reread the most are Boys Don't Cry by Mallory Blackman, the first Artemis Fowl book by Owen Colfer, and the 7th My Sister the Vampire book by Sienna Mercer. I've read all of those books probably 5 or more times. It's a lot of times. I love it when a book causes me to cry, but it rarely happens. I might be weeping inside, but the tears just won't come. When I do cry at a book, it's usually out of happiness. Whenever someone asks me what they should buy someone else as a present, I usually try and come up with a book that person might like. I almost never read ebooks, only if that's the only way I can source a book. I own 3 books that were given to members of my family as attendance prizes. My nan got Lost at the Fair as a progress prize at school in 1960. My grandma got, Pluck of the Coward by Mrs. Osborne Hann as a regular attendance prize for Sunday school in 1955. And my great-grandma got When We Were Young by A.A. Milne as a regular attendance prize for something. I think it's Sunday school, but the label's kind of torn, so I can't actually tell. But she got this in 1927. This edition of When We Were Young is also the oldest book I own because it was published in 1927. I don't think I own a book older than this. In this house we currently have 8 bookcases, and there is no way I'm counting all the books we have in this house, but I'd estimate it at around 1,000 to 3,000 books, but that's basically a wild guess because I am not counting them. I try my hardest to avoid any book-to-screen adaptations. TV, movie, get it away from me. If it's a book I like, I don't want to see the adaptation. There are exceptions to this. Like, my favourite TV to movie adaptation is Warhorse, which the book is by Michael Morpurgo. The funniest book I've ever read is You're a Bad Man, Mr. Gunn by Andy Stanton, which is a children's book, and it is hilarious. The saddest book I've ever read is The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas by John Boyne, not sure how you pronounce his name. If I had to choose one genre to read for the rest of my life, I would choose classics. There's so many different styles and lengths and time periods and subgenres that I don't think I'd ever get bored, and quite a few of my favourite books are classics, so I'd still be able to reread them. The most popular book I've read, according to Goodreads' number of ratings, is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, which has over 4,400,000 ratings on Goodreads. To put that in perspective, the next books that I've read when I sort my books by number of ratings is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which has 4,100,000 ratings, and then The Hobbit, which has 2 million ratings. I love buddy reading, where you read a book at the same time as someone else and then you discuss it. I've buddy read books with people I know in real life and online, and it's really fun and it gives you a great experience reading the book and kind of another set of eyes to criticise it and to enjoy it. I've never been to a midnight release of a book, and I don't know if I ever will. If I pick up the book at midnight, surely I'm just going to be too tired to read it, so I don't really see why I shouldn't just wait until the morning to get it. I used to hate the fact that I have a lot of series with editions that don't match, but I don't really care anymore. Take my Divergent series, for example. Some of you are going to hate this. First edition, pretty nice, paperback, it's quite big. Then I got the second edition, the second book in a different edition, but it's still paperback. It is a different size, like it's smaller, and it's a different edition, obviously. I think I got it like as a present. Then I got the third book in the same edition as the second book, but in hardback, so it's much bigger. And then I got 4 in this edition, but hardback, but it's smaller hardback than this, and it's even a slightly different size to this. So in the end, my Divergent collection ends up looking a bit mishmash, but I don't really mind. It's eccentric. And the final fact about me is I do own a couple of books where I have multiple versions of the same book. One of those is Switched by Sienna Mercer, the first book in the My Sister the Vampire series. For some reason I thought it would be a good idea to buy, I think this is the German edition of this book, even though I can't speak or read German. Yeah, I own this. My sister also bought the Spanish edition of Goblet of Fire, I think. So Goblet of Fire by J.K. Rowling, and we own the Spanish edition. And we also own quite a few doubles of the Misterman books. So we own quite a few of the little ones, but we also own like the bigger versions, which is pretty cool. I can't think of any other books that we own multiple versions of, but there probably are some. So there you have it, 25 bookish facts about me. What was the most interesting fact that you learned in this video? And let me know one bookish fact about you down in the comments. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching, and bye!